The life of Anders Zorn is the tale about the boy born empty-handed who works hard, wins fame and fortune worldwide and returns home a hero. Anders Zorn was born in Mora 1860, grew up in humble circumstances but not poverty, just the same as many other children in Dalarna, Sweden. After finishing school, he entered the Royal Swedish Academy of Fine Arts in the autumn 1875 in Stockholm. Until then, he had considered becoming a woodcarver, but watercolors soon became his medium. Zorn's natural talent seemed a divine gift. It was obvious to the entire academy. When Zorn arrived, wrote fellow art student and friend Bruno Liljefors, it wasn't the novelty that was astonishing, it was that he was so good, so spectacularly good. And he had a fantastic social talent. He knew how to act within the society. Just in a few years, he had good contacts in Stockholm. Zorn came to Paris in 1888, a year before the World Exhibition in 1889, and which was a great success for him. He won the gold medal. He was honored with the Legion of Honor of the French state, and he was also requested to paint his self-portrait for the portrait collection of the Uffizi in Florence, in Italy. The World's Fair in 1889 was also a tremendous breakthrough for Zorn as an open-air painter. The public widely acclaimed his pictures of bathing women made on Dalarö in the late 1880s. Zorn became an international artist. He had a Swedish character, some Swedish motives, but he was absolutely an international painter. In 1893, Anders Zorn was selected to be the Swedish commissioner at the Colombian Art Fair in Chicago, and to be responsible for the Swedish pavilion. Now, why did they choose him? Well, he spoke perfectly English. He was the most famous Swedish painter, and that was a very important journey for him. He showed his own paintings too, and that is at the moment when he meets Isabella Stewart Gardner, who later became an important benefactor for him. He always had a great love for his country, for his native area, the region of Dalarna, Mora. He had to celebrate midsummer here. He had to be with his friends here. He's a person who has one foot in the international world, and one foot here in the area of Mora, Dalarna. So this meant so much for him. Later, when he had moved back to Mora in 1896, he spent most of his time here, but then every spring he goes abroad, and every fall he also leaves Mora. But this is Mora and Sweden, that is his home. With his portraiture, Zorn had found a style, refined, elegant and sophisticated, that was popular with the clientele whose social status was based more on money than title and tradition. Many of his society portraits were made during his 7 visits to the United States, where his success reached an almost unimaginable level. American bankers, industrial magnates and politicians were willing to pay astronomical sums to have their portraits painted by him, along with those of their wives and children. Zorn was drawn into fashionable upper-class society, as far from his humble origins as could be. Certainly, he found it fascinating, but he didn't let himself be fooled. His portraits of powerful men, including 3 presidents, are astonishingly informal, sometimes even brusque in their personal characteristic. It was hardly strange that Zorn should enjoy the company of Americans and appreciate their mentality. After all, he himself was a self-made man, the very symbol of the American dream.